Hey guys, welcome to Farm Charm Chic. I'm Emily. In today's episode, I am talking to you about the fun process of sublimation. If you don't know what that is, you're going to be very intrigued by this process. And if you've heard a little bit about it, I'm going to hopefully go into a little bit more depth and show you how you can get started very easily. On this channel, I love doing crafting, thrift flips, dupes, and all sorts of DIYs. If that's something that you're interested in or want to see more of, make sure you click that subscribe button. And if you do like what you see in today's video, I would love if you would consider giving this video a thumbs up. Let's get started. First and foremost, what exactly is sublimation? So sublimation is the process of transferring dye to a surface or material using heat. So using a special paper known as sublimation paper and a special sublimation ink, a digital image is printed. Then using heat and some type of heat press and pressure, the image transfers to the polymers in the transfer surface. Because the transfer occurs at a molecular level, the transfer is permanent. That means it should never fade or come off no matter how many times you wash it. That means you can make, enjoy, and even sell projects just like these and more. Does it sound like fun? Let's discover an easy way to get started with sublimation. One of the more affordable ways to do sublimation at home is to use one of the Epson EcoTake printers. This printer was provided by Hiipoo for me to set up and show you how simple it is to use. So this ink comes with the printer. This is just standard printer's ink, and you're not going to use that at all. Instead, you're going to use a sublimation ink. This is Hiipoo's ink, and it is absolutely beautiful. The image quality is amazing. And then I am also going to be showing you the sublimation paper. Now you do want to use some type of gloves or barrier when you do this for your hands because it is ink you're working with. It will stain your hands for a couple of days, or wear an apron because once it gets on your clothes, it's going to be permanent. So you just want to make sure that it is an EcoTake printer from Epson. And I'm just showing you here how it opens up. This is where the ink fills. So if you've ever used one of these printers, you may be familiar with this, but these little tabs just pull up for the different ink ports that you're going to pour the ink into. So I'm just going to put on some gloves, of course, because I don't want any ink staining my hands or anything. And then I am just going to take the ink that came with the printer, and that's just going to go away. So put it on Facebook Marketplace, find somebody else who has a printer, or throw it away, whatever you want to do with it. But you're going to use sublimation ink. I will leave a link down in the description box for all items used in this video, so you can definitely have a look at all of those. I didn't realize that the ink came with its own set of plastic gloves for your hands, so just know that those are provided in there. And then each of the little ports for the ink has the color that it is, so you have like black and yellow, magenta, and cyan. So I'm just taking the black, and this is so awesome because their bottle is shaped identical to the Epson ink. So you don't want to squeeze the ink. You just turn it upside down, put it into that little port, and it is going to fill up. And then down below, you can see there, you can watch the ink fill up. And as it gets closer to the top is when you want to remove the ink from filling. So you want to pull straight up. Now this was my first time doing it, and I did spill some ink all over the side there. So one idea I have for you is to keep some rubbing alcohol close by, and I just used a Q-tip, and that just got it right off of the side. The rubbing alcohol was able to clean up that ink since I got to it rather quickly. So I'm just going to go through on all of the other colors, making sure that I am adding the appropriate color into the appropriate ink port. This is such a simple process. It is identical to setting up the printer as if you were setting it up as a normal printer. You just want to know that once you add sublimation ink to this printer, you can never go back. You're just going to know that it's a sublimation printer and move forward with that because the inks do not mix well or anything. So once it's a sublimation printer, it's always a sublimation printer. I love the process of sublimation though, because a lot of times you're wanting a side hustle or a way to make extra money or create and have beautiful gifts to give to people, and I feel like sublimation really ups your game to do that. This really is such an enormous amount of ink that comes in these bottles. It is going to last you for so many projects. You can see by this last one, I kind of have it down. You just lift up slowly and let that ink finish there and then pull it off. And then I just store these so I can use them again as my ink runs low. First step is to fill the ink and then set up your printer. So just make sure you follow the instructions. You'll download their app or you'll get on your computer and it will have you follow all of the instructions to get that set up and connected to your Wi-Fi. After all of that, you're set to go. You're ready to start sublimating. So we're going to take Hiipoo sublimation paper. It has this handy little chart on the back to tell you the time and temperature to do for your different surfaces. You'll notice the front of the paper has a coated feeling, while the back of the paper has their logo, so you know which direction to feed the paper into the printer. But let's go make something. For my very first project, I want to make some pillow slip covers. So using this image I found on Etsy, I just made sure I reversed the image since it's a heat transfer and printed it out as normal. And then I am just going to follow the grid on the back for the temperature and the time amount that I need to use to transfer my image. And then I am also using some heat tape to hold my image down. Now there are various types of heat presses that you can have, some really fancy schmancy ones that end up being like several $100s. I just have a Cricut Easy Press, and so that is what I am using. You do just need something that gets to the high temperatures that you need. So an average iron won't work, so just keep that in mind. So here I'm just placing some regular copy paper. You can use freezer paper, butcher paper, some type of barrier so the ink does not bleed through on the other side. And then I am just going to tape this up with some heat tape. And I will link all of these, including the images and everything, in my description box so you can kind of see exactly what I used. Now I just placed some more paper down on top, so if any ink was to come out of the back, it would not ruin my Easy Press. And then you just want to apply pressure. So I just kind of leaned forward on it and let my body weight be the pressure. And you want to make sure you go in a very straight up and down motion when pushing this, because if it slides at all, it can create a ghosting effect on your image. So you can see that when I go to lift this up, I just lift it straight up. And then this is very hot. I mean, it's 385 degrees. So you want to kind of let it cool a little bit because you can burn yourself. I've seen other people use heat gloves, which I can see now, depending on the various products you do, may be very smart. But look, you guys, I mean, how amazing is that? I mean, I spend so much money on pillow slip covers for different parts of my house to decorate for different seasons and holidays, and I can literally make them myself now at a fraction of the price if I wanted to be giving these as gifts or like a side hustle or anything. I mean, it is beautifully done. The ink works so well, and that paper, I mean, I think this just turned out absolutely beautiful. And you can wash those as many times as you want, and that image is not going anywhere. So I'm just going to show you again. I'm just making a second transfer here, so I have a matching pillow set, and I am just going to transfer over one more design. So again, I'm just following the Hiipoo instructions on the back of their sublimation paper for the time, length, and temperature, and then I'm just going to remember that it's very hot as I peel that tape off and reveal my design. And oh my gosh, how beautiful. I will link both of these designs. They're from Etsy down in my description box, but I think these turned out beautiful. They are so high end looking and they are so beautiful. There are so many different surfaces that you can sublimate on, but you can actually purchase a lot of different sublimation blanks on Amazon. So I'm just showing you here some different prints that I made, and I'm going to make a couple of pairs of earrings. I love to wear dangly earrings. I know not everybody does, but these are so in right now. And so I just got these little substrates from Amazon, the little earring blanks, and I am just going to use my heat tape to tape them on some different designs that I printed out. And there are so many different surfaces that you can sublimate on. My daughters all were like wanting to make these for their friends or start a little earring business, which I'm like, I love that they're getting that little entrepreneurial bug. But I'm just flipping these over, and then I am using my barrier. So remember, you need a barrier paper on the bottom and on the top. And then I did just follow the instructions on the back of the sublimation paper for the time and the temperature. And then I lift straight up so I don't have any ghosting. And look at how beautiful those designs are. I absolutely love them. With the earrings, you do need to do each side, so that way you have the design on either side. So if you see yourself from the front or the back, so you'll just need to remember that when you're printing those out. Now, just to show you here how I assemble these, these did come with their own little hooks and their little jump ring there that you would use. You would have to have special jewelry pliers. I just bought this particular kind at Hobby Lobby in their jewelry section. You just slide it through, and then you don't even have to use any type of tools. You just pinch it together once you get that all the way through. It is the handiest thing. I bought them like at 50% off, and it was like $3 for a bag of like 12 pair. So super cute. I love these. What do you guys think of the earrings? Did you know that you could sublimate on things like these? I am so excited. I literally have worn these nonstop since I made them, and I've gotten so many compliments. I wanted to take just a second to let you guys know about the awesome giveaway that Hiipoo is doing. It is their Craft the Craft giveaway. They are giving away an iPhone 13 Pro Max, so that way you can have capabilities to take awesome pictures and do awesome video recordings as well. The link will be down in my description box if you want to know more information about Hiipoo's Craft the Craft giveaway. Don't forget that I'm on Instagram also. I love to meet new Insta friends, so I would love for you to come over and say hi, check out my page, and see all the latest projects that I'm working on. I'll be sure and leave a link down in my description box so you can easily find me. So I wanted to try something a little different with this sublimation project here. So I found this darling design on Etsy that has the cutest little picture of some lavender and some herbs and everything. Very garden, very spring. It just totally screamed my name. And so I printed out different sizes of it. Now I want to sublimate on this little wooden cutting board. I bought several in a pack on Amazon, and I have watched a lot of tutorials, read a lot of things that you cannot sublimate on raw wood. The reason being is that you cannot get that polymer molecular transfer to happen with raw wood. You have to have some type of polyacrylic or something on there. So I'm using this polyurethane that I bought at Home Depot, and after my paint dries, I will put 2 coats of this onto the cutting board. So hopefully I'm hoping when I do the transfer that it will work really well. And I've seen a lot of different people say that this works, and so I'm going to give it a try as well. But with sublimation, you do need some type of polyacrylic or polyester or some type of poly to have that molecular transfer, I don't know, I'm using a lot of sciencey words that I'm not really sure, but you have to have that like chemical change happen. So I'm just going through the same process. I use my heat tape to tape that on. I have a barrier paper on the bottom, one on the top. I set my time according to Hiipoo's instructions, and then I am just going to lay my easy press straight down, and then when it's done, I pull it straight up, and then it is very hot. So just keep that in mind, because I had kids kind of coming over wanting to help peel off the tape, and I had to remind them that this is really hot. So now I'm going to peel this off here, and the paper is not coming off very easily. And I was a little bit like, oh man, this one's not going to work very well. But I kept peeling just to kind of see what happened, and it started to come off fairly well, but it did leave a little bit of the paper behind. You can kind of see there and down, like on my S at the bottom, it was very noticeable as well. And so I'm just taking a little bit of water and spraying on there. I kind of scratch it off with my nail, but I do move on to a baby wipe. You could also use like a really soft like sponge or something like that to be able to get it off, but it wipes right off, and that image is beautiful. That ink and that paper and the whole process, this came out adorable. To finish this off, I just wrap some jute twine around the handle of this little cutting board here. And this is not like an actual cutting board you're going to use. It's not food safe. It's just a little teeny craft cutting board for decor or a tiered tray or something fun. But I just tie off that little jute twine in the back, and then I make a little finger bow to put on the front of it to kind of like jazz it up, add it a little bit more texture. I think this just turns out so cute. I even go around the edges here with a little bit of elephant chalk paint to kind of distress it a little more. If you've watched me for any length of time, you know I love to distress things, and I know that's not for everybody, so of course you could skip this step if you wanted to. I just think it makes it look like it's just kind of been around for a minute or two and just is really cute for a little bit of, you know, textural element and everything. So there I'm adding that little bow onto the top. I just think this turns out so cute. I put it in my china hutch in front of like a display of plates that I have, and so I kind of have like a faux wood plate behind it, and it's absolutely darling. This would make such a fun gift as well. And now that we know the process to sublimate on wood, we have endless possibilities now. For my final sublimation project, I wanted to show you how you would do a t-shirt, because I feel like that's probably one of the most common things, or something that you might get most excited about, is designing your own t-shirts. Now, I did not take the time to do my own design. I did purchase this off Etsy, and I will leave a link down below. You want to make sure when you are sublimating on fabric that there is some type of polyester count. Everything that I did had a higher than 65% polyester count. The shirt is 100%. I have read that you can go as low as 50%, but I haven't tried that out. So if you would like me to do maybe another video showing different types of polyester counts and the different types of sublimation, let me know down in the comments, because I would definitely do that and kind of try some things out to give you a little bit more direction. But I am just following the same process I have on all of the other things with this. The first time I printed this out, I forgot to reverse my image, so I had to go back in and reverse it. So that's why I end up with 2 images, but you know, it happens and there's a learning curve, and I promise you, you'll probably do it at least once. So I am just using the barrier papers between, and I am just doing the same process here, applying pressure to it for the amount of time and the temperature that the Hiipoo paper tells me. And then I will just let this cool for a minute and pull up that heat tape so we will reveal the design. I think this turns out so cute. I love the colors on this, but look at how cute that is. It transferred so good. And you guys, again, I can wash and wash and wash this, and where it's 100% polyester, it will not fade. It will not wash out. It is so beautiful. I love this. And it looks like it's literally printed on the fabric. I absolutely love how this turns out. I would love to know if this is a process that you would like to get into yourself, or if you have done sublimation, and if you could try out, what would you try first? What would you make for you first? I had such a fun time playing around with this, and I definitely can see lots of side hustle opportunities with this, and I'm excited to keep doing it. I would like to thank you so much for joining me today. I hope that you saw how easy and fun it is to break into the sublimation world, and it is so affordable using the Epson EcoTake printer versus some of the other really expensive ones. And you can see the high quality using the Hiipoo ink and that Hiipoo paper. And I do want to thank Hiipoo for their generous donations for this video. I could not have done it without them. I will leave a link down to all of the items used in the video down in my description box. So if you have any questions, you can message me or you can check those out. As always, I want to remind you to be safe, be smart, be nice, be happy. Choose to have a good day, because you are amazing. Thanks so much, guys. We'll see you next time. If you enjoyed the video that you just saw, here's another one that you might enjoy. And as always, remember to like and subscribe. Thanks so much for watching, and have an amazing day.